I usually like either you start off with a funny statement, personally, or you just start off with welcome back. That's just my own style of video making, but if you can find a cool way to start, or like, we usually have, how did you do it last time? We had a funny thing, and then we had our intro music, and then we had welcome back too.
Well, yeah, we had, what we started with was just awkwardness about, like, who's starting this, and then we burst into laughter, and then you were just like, okay, well, let's try it again. And then you said something really
perfect.
weird. That was great. That was a really good one.
We were really good at podcasting.
Mm-hmm. Back in the days when we first started, and it was just a one-hit wonder, man.
Oh, I mean, we're a one-hit wonder right now.
We were just fucking, like, what the fuck were the name of the people, like, with the YMCA?
Excuse you, the Village People were a good band.
Yeah, but who cares about them besides?
Welcome back to Our Podcast Sucks.
Okay, no. Don't start the episode. Let's talk about this for a second. Who gives a fuck about the Village People besides? I
care about them.
Okay, well, who that isn't you?
Anyone who's over the age of 55.
That's not doing a lot for your case right now.
I never said that they weren't relevant to our time period. I just said people still get. Are you saying everyone over the age of 55 is dead? Or like unreliable? I mean, like sometimes, but you know.
I mean, they might be
dead inside.
Might be dead inside by that point, to be sure. Don't put him that. That's as much as we're treating it like comedy, like this is a very real problem.
Are we talking about depression in the workplace?
I guess.
Okay.
Now we are. That's how we're starting this now. Why wouldn't we? Oh my god.
Welcome back to Our Podcast Sucks.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Where we talk about the Village People and depression.
Because really, like,
what else is there to talk about in your 20s?
Yeah, what do you fucking need in your 20s? Like, everything else has already been done. Like, we could be another podcast of two college students being like, oh, fucking man, it's so unfair, like, we have to deal with shit. It's like, you're not wrong, but...
we talk about the Village People instead.
But we talk about the Village People instead, you know? And that's why our podcast sucks.
We're cultured.
We're fucking...
For specific demographics of... niche markets.
Complete, yeah. Absolutely the most niche bullshit.
If you're new here,
you've come to the wrong part of YouTube. Please, for your own sanity, run.
I was going to introduce us, but yeah, that too.
I'm Adam. I do nothing.
My name's Tamara, and I like dogs.
That's more or less what you need to know about Tamara. That and she likes memes.
And plants.
And plants. And naming plants.
And
naming
dogs.
Stuffies. And plushies. And wait, what?
And dogs. I name dogs.
Oh, okay. Like,
if I spend enough time with them, yeah, and I'm telling a story.
Okay. What are you talking? Like, you just go around outside naming people's dogs for them?
No,
like,
weird.
Hello, Mr. Fluffers. Actually, my dog's name is Rex. No, it isn't.
No, I'm not that weird. Jeez. It's a little more socially acceptable than that. If I'm telling a story to someone else and there is a specific dog that's involved, and, like, I've spent enough time with this dog to have a story, I will give that dog a name, whether or not it's his real name. Doesn't have anything to do with the story. It's for my own purpose of storytelling.
So just as, like, if you know of the dog's name, then you don't give it a name, but in the interest of not saying the dog over and over.
Exactly. I mean, this is follow-up. More childhood trauma. I blame my mother for my insistence on naming everything, because when I was younger, every night before bed, and even just in general, I had a mural on my wall, and my mom would insist on naming every single thing that appeared. Like, it's a mural of animals and things. So she insisted we name everything. And I think that's where my love of naming things came from, and it just spitballed from there.
I mean...
Don't you name things?
No.
Like objects that like you use a lot or plants?
The absolute extent of my naming things ever has been naming household objects simply by adding Y to the end of their normal name. So like a toothbrush would be like, you're just gonna grab my toothbrushy here, or my panny there, or it's gonna take a rest on my couchy. Like
couchy?
Yeah.
You didn't maybe it's just a me thing, but life's so much more fun when you name those household objects.
Like, you just give them legitimate, like, your couch is Melvin, your love seat is, like, Tyler.
I mean, now that's what their names are. This is canon. I was gonna say more like, I name my plants and my purses. But yeah, hi Melvin and Tyler, welcome to the world. Oh, and to be fair, that pumpkin over there, it's a light up pumpkin. His name is Jerome.
Oh yeah,
Right
you told me about Jerome.
Yeah.
That
he's got character now that his name is Jerome. He's no longer just a pumpkin. He's Jerome, the pumpkin.
The pumpkin. We're speaking about this as though it's an actual pumpkin. This is one of those things that you plug into a wall and light up. Like, it's not.
I'm not actually talented with knives, nor do I trust myself with knives.
Because it would make the next thing that I'm about to say really weird, which is that I've known Jerome for about a year now.
Yeah.
Because I remember having him at my house for, what was it, like a week almost? When I took him for whatever reason, and then I didn't give him back to you for a little while.
Yeah, you kept Jerome for a while. I had some separation anxiety. I also forgot about him. One led to the other. That's how I coped with it.
Oh my god. That's how you care for your possessions. First there's separation anxiety, and then it's
and then I get a new one. No, oh my god. I have a weird affinity for naming things, but also pumpkins too. For some reason, I don't remember why, but I remember for a good solid 5 months in high school having a pumpkin in my possession, and I kept it in my locker, and I drew on it with Sharpie, and I had my friends sign it in Sharpie as well too. Like, I think it started off as a joke. For some reason it was a tiny little pumpkin, and then I just kept it in my locker, and I think I got it as like a birthday present in the end. Like, it was mine, or I don't even know. I just remember having a pumpkin for 5 months of the year. Okay. Until it got rotten.
Oh my god.
So, I forgot its name. It had a name too, but I forgot. Parting was too painful.
Well, that's...
Some more follow-up from last time. If you haven't heard our first episode, I guess you're on our channel already, but go listen to it. It's great.
No, I'm severely surprised if you haven't heard the first episode, but yeah, go
What
ahead.
Are you doing here otherwise?
Yeah, really. Like, because at this point in our likelihood, you're either one of our family members or someone looking way, way back in the past.
Or one of the people who, responded to our paid Facebook ad, which might mean you're a bot.
Yeah.
So you're not real.
No.
Sorry.
That being said, go watch the first episode.
It's great. It's a bundle of fun. But in response to that, we had a section, which we'll also revive today, called Things We Hate, wherein Adam and I went on rants about benign things we hate. Well, not benign. Things we hate. And
they're benign things we hate thus far. Don't treat your hatred of Porsche Cayennes like it's some sort of personal vendetta.
It is!
They've done nothing to you. They've done nothing to you. Don't look at me like that. They haven't killed one of your family members. As
God
far
forbid.
as I know.
Wow, Adam, that got morbid.
That's what I said, personal vendetta.
I mean, what if I just don't like them because... Listen to the first episode to find out why.
Oh my god.
But no, my mom actually came to me, and this was great because A, it proved she had listened to the podcast, and it wasn't just like all those other times where I've sent her personal projects and she said she'd watch them, like my YouTube videos. But she actually came over the other day, and she was like, I understand why you hate Porsche Cayennes. They're pretty fucking ugly. And my dad's just sitting there like, what? Because I don't think he'd heard the episode. And I'm like, right? And she's like, yeah, now I can't stop hating them. Because I see them everywhere, and I'm like, that's how it begins.
First you see them everywhere, then you realize that you hate them, then some
it's like
cars
a circle.
start burning.
It's like a circle. It's you realize you hate them, and you see them everywhere, and then you realize you hate them, and then you just see them everywhere. It's just a circle of hell. Like, I bet you, if you ever end up in hell, Satan drives a Porsche Cayenne.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, why wouldn't Satan drive a Porsche Cayenne?
If you had to drive something that was hated by a lot of people.
I mean, that or a Prius. Of just in general, of like, I feel like the general consensus is like, what even is a Prius? Like, why?
I don't know. I don't understand the hate around them. Like, as cars, they're not ugly. Like, they're just kind of meh. Like, I'm ambivalent. Which, considering how I feel about Porsche Cayennes, I feel like says a lot.
Yeah. At this point, that's a good thing in Tamara's book. If she's ambivalent about a car, it's like, well, that's better than a Porsche Cayenne.
Yep.
I'm just saying that the general consensus seems to be that Priuses suck.
I mean, I was under the impression that Honda Civics sucked, but, like, they got a sexy new remodel in 2017, and, like, I've always liked cars for some reason. Like, from a young child, I have loved cars. Like, my Barbies had the best fucking cars available for them. And I loved cars. Like, it was just this weird thing. And, again, on the topic of Porsche Cayennes and my mother's hatred of them as well, she was like, you always did love cars and you always paid a lot of attention to them. Like, when we were out driving or, like, when we were walking. I like houses and cars. I noticed them. And so she's like, I understand the Porsche Cayenne thing, but I was talking to my boyfriend about the new Honda Civic remodel, because I pay attention to car commercials, because, whatever. And I've been told, because he's a bit of a car guy, more so than I am, I can appreciate the way cars look aesthetically, but I don't know the names of all the models. Like, I know certain ones are the ones I like, and the one I hate, but I don't know all of them. And I was told by him and another male friend who was around at the time, who are both very big car fanatics, that the Honda Civic is now socially acceptable. Same with the Prius.
Wow.
They've made headway.
Yeah. I mean, if they're all going on and on to greater heights, then that's good. Hopefully the public opinion will change too, and they'll find another car to generally hate for no particular reason.
I vote Porsche Cayenne.
Okay, I know you do.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah. Since we've gone on for a little bit about that. Again. I think if I had to... I experienced this earlier today. If I had to put my finger on a specific thing that that makes me unreasonably angry, it's...
That isn't like genocide?
That isn't like genocide. What? When have I ever said that?
Well, I mean, like... Okay, everybody hates genocide, right? And it makes people unreasonably angry. But I am as unreasonably angry as Porsche Cayennes. So when you were saying, like, oh, I'm trying to think of something else that makes me unreasonably angry, I felt the need to say that it can't be something that's widely socially accepted as being awful, like genocide. The logic makes sense in my mind.
Yeah, no, that's...
Like, things we hate. Porsche Cayennes.
I like how you kind of classify that under the same kind of unreasonable anger as Porsche Cayennes. I don't think people are unreasonably angry at genocide. I think that they're very, very well justified in their hatred and condemnation of genocide.
I never said my hatred of Porsche Cayennes was unjustified.
Anyway.
We're not equating the two in severity by no means. Fun disclaimer.
I'm going to fully try to salvage this. Absolutely what I'm trying to say, what we're both trying to say. Absolutely non-equatable. Genocide is a terrible thing. I'm probably going to cut this out of the episode because there is no salvaging that.
Was it better than the 9/11 joke?
No. You equated hating a car, a popular make of a car, to genocide.
Yeah, that was
bad. To hating genocide.
That was bad. That was low even for me.
So what I find truly unreasonably angry, or what I truly find annoying beyond all comprehension for no particular reason, I experienced this earlier today, is when people are letting you go on an all-way stop sign at the wrong time. Like when somebody approaches you and they're on your left side, which in Canada is if you both arrive at an all-way stop at the same time, then the person on the left is supposed to go. And I drive up to this all-way stop sign, and I see somebody coming from my left, and I immediately think, oh my god, no, we're doing this again. Because 90% of the time, not 100% of the time, but 90% of the time, the person on the left will usher you forward. And I'm like, no, that is not Canadian law. We have been taught to do this a very specific way. Just go, please.
I would argue it's Canadian custom to be polite.
I know it's Canadian custom to be polite. In this case, on the other hand, they are politely beckoning me into breaking the law. Which I'm not... I mean, it's not like... I know it would take the most square of square police officers to pull you over for not respecting that rule. That being said, it still makes me so angry when I'm at an all-way stop and this guy's just like, yeah, no, come on, it's fine. I'm like, go, just go, please. Like,
driving with you must be so fun.
Oh my... Luckily for everybody that uses the road in Canada, I have not been in a bad mood when this has ever happened. It's always been something that's ruined my good to meh mood. If somebody does that to me when I'm in a bad mood, I swear to God I will start screaming. I am very rarely in a bad mood. I tend not to drive angry. If I'm angry, I'm like, I'm probably not going to drive. That's just a bad idea because I'm emotional now. But if that were to happen, if somebody were to try to, again, like, usher me forward into possibly breaking the law, no. I would just lose my shit right there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Adam. I'm just in post-production, looking over this episode footage again. I had a total brain fart during this episode. I meant that the person on the right has the right of way. It's not the person on the left. Complete, just utter stupid. I don't know why I said left. I know I was thinking right, but that entire conversation I didn't catch myself. So yeah, don't misinterpret Canadian law. If somebody's approaching on an all-way stop, just from your right side, give them the right away, on the right side. Easy to remember. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go get more chips.
It's always interesting, I find, if I'm in a car with someone, certain people, like you said, you don't drive when you're angry, but like certain people I've been in the car with over the years, you could tell what they're feeling by the way they're driving. Like, I don't know if this is just my own experience, but between like my parents, close friends, and like significant other, I can tell when they're pissed and they're driving because you can bet they slam on the brakes.
Oh, yeah.
Or they speed up really quickly. Like, they're not reckless, but it's just, you can feel it's tense. Yeah. You can feel it's tense. So, like, I feel like you driving angry, like, I've driven with you before, and, like, you're not an aggressive driver, but you don't take shit from anyone. So I feel like you angry driving would just be you screaming inside your car or rolling down the window and go, hey, asshole, fuck you, and then driving off, or, like, something like that. Like, I can just envision it. Like, you never hurt another person, but you would verbally tear them down a notch. Especially if they think they're being polite, too. Can you imagine?
Oh, my God.
From an outsider's perspective, that is hilarious to me.
I can see why you'd think that. I definitely take after my... A lot of people kind of give me, like, oh, man, you got a heavy foot there, don't you, pal? And I'm like, I admit it, yes. I do tend to burn the clutch when I'm driving, but none of you, and I say none of you, have driven with my mother. My mother is a nut. My mother oh my god, I think she did from like 80 to 0 over the span of like maybe 5 meters, and the same thing in reverse, like on a daily basis. I think I remember she got kind of yeah, she wasn't irritated. Well, she wasn't irritated before, but there was somebody driving at the speed limit in front of her, and so she passed them on a one lane part of Bloor, like on Bloor in Toronto. That is ballsy. My mother, like, if you think I don't take shit from people when I'm driving, my mother is like, as soon as she gets behind the wheel, that is like, she's fed up with everybody. She's like, all of you just go, get out of my way.
I feel like it's always the people who you never assume that are the most interesting drivers. I don't want to insult your mother. She's a lovely person. I've never met her, but I feel like I know her. But my mom, too. We jokingly call her Leadfoot Smacker sometimes, because she made it from Toronto to Guelph in 40 minutes once. And, like, that's well, I mean, it's a 45-minute drive on a good day. But it can take, like, upwards of an hour. But, like, once we did it in 30 minutes with her.
Okay, I was about to say that 40 minutes for me is something that I can do, but
it's very situational to do 40 minutes, like, door to door. But yeah, we did 30 minutes once. Yeah. She's safe, though. That's the thing. Mama likes her speed.
Oh, yeah. No, my mother's not, again, a reckless driver either, but she's ballsy.
Hey, Mom, if you're watching this, I love you.
Yeah, me too. I love you too, man.
Another thing, too, was that my mom, when she's driving, gets real angry. Like, to the point where I learned how to swear from her. And when I was 12, because, like, obviously she didn't swear when I was a little kid. But for some reason, around grade 7, the filters came off. Because apparently I think I was, like, old enough to understand. And, like, we had a pretty open household. But, like, I never swore, to my knowledge, before the age of 12. But man, when I was 12 years old, like, my friends had an intervention for me because I apparently swore too much. Because I heard my mom swearing, and I thought it was okay. Like, she'd call people asshats and tell them to fuck off. Like, shit was my favorite word when I was 12. And I mean, like, obviously, when I was in situations where it wasn't appropriate to swear, like, I wouldn't swear. Like, I worked as a summer camp counselor for years, and I came up with some very creative ways not to swear, but still, like, release anger. Mm-hmm. You know, like when you say, oh, fudsicle, or
oh,
crispy
shoes.
Fried potatoes, man. So, like, you know, it made the kids laugh or whatever. But yeah, no, I learned how to swear and got my swearing habits from my mom. And, like, by no means now do I have a clean vocabulary. Mm-hmm. Like, before we were doing this podcast, Adam and I sat down and I said, like, so, we gonna swear or not? And he's like, oh, fuck no. And I was like, oh, thank fucking God. And I feel like that's the summary of our friendship.
Yeah. Are we gonna do this the nice way or the not nice way? And I'm like, And Tamara's like, well, not nice way it is.
It's not that it's not nice. It's just it's colorful language. Like, when I have kids, I'm not going to swear around them, obviously, probably until they're about 12 years old, too. Because, like, at that point, like, everyone's looking up swears in the dictionary and shit.
Well, yeah, by like, 10 years old, we were, like, every single day pulling out the old Merriam-Webster and turning to the page that said fuck on it and giggling amongst ourselves.
Yeah, but, like, I didn't say fuck, actually. I didn't start saying fuck until I was much older. I said shit a lot.
Oh.
For some reason, fuck. In my small brain, fuck was still taboo. But, no, I mean, like, I feel like if you're open enough, like, I never called anyone rude names as a kid. I never did. It's just I used it in my own language. Like, I also got hurt a lot, so I would swear whenever I got hurt. But, like, I never called anyone anything bad. And I feel like that's because, again, like, it was just part, unless they're being a real asshole or something, but, like, it never really came up. I don't know. Maybe it's because my mom swore openly around me, so it didn't seem so taboo. So I didn't ever feel the need to, like, whip it out when someone was being a jackass. I think the most I ever called someone was a dick in, like, middle school.
One of my uncles called somebody a cocksucker on the road one time.
I love that's beautiful.
And it was great because he said it in the my family's Polish. Generally speaking, more or less, everybody who was of the older generation of my parents' generation has still a little bit of an accent, at least, if not full-blown, like, FOB, like, just
Fresh
an
off the
accent.
boat.
Fresh off the boat accent. And so it was very interesting to hear him once when he got road rage. He was driving us. I believe it was, we were in, God, I think we were in Florida. And he was driving along, and I believe somebody cut him off. And he just he's like, oh, fuck you, you stupid. And then he's like, cocksucker. And I've never forgotten the way, just the pure hatred that he put behind that word. His pure Slavic hatred.
That'd be a really good metal band. Pure Slavic hatred. Can you imagine?
Pure Slavic hatred.
Their first album is Fuck You, Russia.
Their second album is Cocksucker on the Road.
Their third one is Fuck Yeah, Potatoes.
Fuck yeah, potatoes.
have
Their
a
fourth one
positive
doesn't
one
come
in
out
there.
because by that time they've OD'd on vodka and potatoes.
I like how that was the first thing that came to mind. Like, man, drugs, not potatoes. Potatoes and liquefied potatoes. Fermented potatoes.
Fermented alcoholic 80 proof potatoes.
Speaking of things we hate earlier, this actually just came to me. I didn't have one, but I realized I've had one for a while. Because again, I don't get mad normally. I just get unreasonably mad at certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So this week's topic, feel free to tweet at us if you agree.
Oh yeah.
Is for the past, month now, this one song has been haunting me. Month and a half. And it's in the sense that...
Despacito.
Oh, no, not that. I love Despacito. Wholeheartedly, unironically, love it.
Okay.
Unabashedly. It's Feel It Still by Portugal the Man.
What?
Oh, let me play for you. You're going to recognize it.
You can just continue on it, because I don't know.
So, anyways, this song is being used everywhere. In car commercials. In this one YouTuber that I like watching, he used it in 2 or 3 of his videos as the outro, and because I've binged watched them, it just keeps coming up. Or it'll be in someone else's, and it's just everywhere. Or I'll hear it on the radio, on indie radio stations. And finally I was like, you know what? I can't tell if I love this song or I hate it. But it's been in and out of my head for the past month, because even when I'm not hearing it, I'll hear it, and I'll hum along the few bars that I know, and that part will just be stuck in my head for a while, because it's just how my brain works. And then I'll move on to the next song. But for some reason with this song, anytime I get it out of my head, like clockwork, I'll hear it again. And it's catchy as fuck. And then it takes about a week and a half to get rid of it. So it'll be in my head for a week and a half to get rid of it, then it'll be in my head again. And this has just happened for the past month and a half. Until finally, I think it was 4 days ago, when I was in the midst of writing a bunch of papers and I had 2 midterms, I was finally I heard it, and I started humming it, and I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I downloaded it on Spotify, and I've been listening to it on repeat since then. And now my roommate has picked up on this, and now plays it whenever I'm in the car with him, and whenever he sees me. So again, anytime it's out of my head, because I've been studying, it's back in. It's not a bad song. It's one of those ones where it's just too catchy. It's too catchy for its own good. And you know what? It's in my playlist now. I've just given in. I don't know if I love it or I hate it, but it's catchy.
But
so
it's there.
If you ever wanna hear something and get real mad for no reason, Portugal the Man's song, Feel It Still.
I usually get that. I generally get the first song that I think of / hear in the morning. I get stuck in my head for the rest of the day, which was kind of weird when I had to write a midterm, and the first song I heard was that one, that weird Russian singer with the crazy high vocals?
Yeah.
The one that's that was in my head for the entirety of the 50-minute midterm that I had to write about toxicology. And it wasn't even... It's not like I listened to the whole thing, because I realized at one point when I was listening to that, zoned out in my bed, still kind of in sleep inertia, I was just listening to this song to wake up, and then I had to get up and shower before I finished it, because I was like, oh damn, I got a midterm, I gotta get going soon. So it wasn't the whole song that I was playing over and over in my head. it was just the first, like, few seconds.
That's the same thing that happened to me, too.
It's like...
To be fair, though, now that song has been replaced by Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. For some reason, it went from, like, indie pop to classical music. I hadn't heard it in a while, and I didn't realize that was the name of the song. Like, I knew it, because growing up, my parents made me listen to classical music for children, but they'd put it with a twist, where they'd put fun lyrics into classical music. It was the CD called Beethoven's Wig, and so it was, Beethoven's piece, like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, except they'd be like, Beethoven's wig is very big, and they'd sing a song about it to the classical music piece. So I'd heard of the 1812 Overture, and I hadn't heard it in so long, and for some reason, that's now been stuck in my head since Friday, and this is Sunday.
Okay.
So that's replaced it.
48 hours, 48
solid
hours.
I mean, like,
this crap.
It's better than Portugal the Man in some ways. It's a lot different because with Portugal the Man, like, I can be reminded of it because of the lyrics and also the melody. But with the 1812 Overture, it's just like in a loop in my head in the background, but only the first, like, 16 bars of it. So, it's great. Super great. Comment music requests down below.
Or if you want us to talk about certain kinds of music, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be indie pop, country, classical music from whatever, show tunes. Comment show tunes. I like show tunes.
That was fun.
They're always just, I mean, I like that. I don't know very many specific show tunes, but just the entire style is
like
just
musicals?
Yeah.
You like musicals? Me too.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah. All them trumpets. Well, not trumpet.
You mean a full orchestra?
Have? Well, usually a full orchestra, but they have very pronounced kind of brass section very often in musicals.
Depending on the era, I would argue. That's the only thing.
You're probably right.
That, I mean, like, as someone who knows them show tunes, it depends on the era a lot. You can get a variety of musical instruments in it, but you guys don't care about that. A fun place that we often all hang out on, or at least you guys should follow us on Twitter, is Twitter.
Oh my god.
I'm the one who throws in the shameless plugs, I feel like, throughout this whole thing.
I mean, that's your job. I'm just here to friggin', I don't know why I'm here. You're the one with the YouTube channel. I don't know how I got onto this.
You're funny, and we bounce well off each other.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We had positive, like, reviews from our last one.
Oh.
If at the end of the day, like, at this point, I've enjoyed listening to our podcast. Is that weird to listen to your own podcast?
Only slightly narcissistic.
I listened to it, like, twice just to make sure, like, once for content, because I wondered how you edited it together. Because I didn't know what parts you were including and what parts you weren't. Not that you cut out much.
Yeah. But
it's always interesting to see what's been included. Because normally when I make a video, I'm at the editing table. Like, I choose what gets put in. But this time it's like, I've been part of something, but I don't know what's, like, what you consider funny, what you thought you wanted to highlight.
I mean, I don't really do a lot of picking and choosing.
Except for in today's episode.
Except for today's episode. And also when we specifically mentioned in that first episode, like, yeah, we should probably cut this out. Like, I just, did that or bleeped it. Yeah, otherwise it's just doing, basic podcast magic of, like, silencing background noise and compressing audio levels and
fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. What were we talking about? We were going to talk about Twitter.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Twitter. Tamara has asked me to sort of help out with the Twitter page a little bit, like somebody's mother would be like, well, yeah, send the crops, Jimmy, otherwise everybody's gonna starve. And it's kind of, no, I'm kidding.
That was a weird association, but roll with it. Let's, where are you gonna go?
And in order to put in my 2 cents / maintenance for this whole creative project, I've been tasked with contributing at least to posting in our Twitter and tweeting at things. The thing is, I don't use Twitter on a daily basis. I don't even go on Twitter to go see things because I don't know. I feel like
Reddit.
Even I don't even go on Reddit all that often, honestly. I'm pretty detached in terms of shit that's going on in the world, because really, if I care about something that's going on in the world, like, somebody's gonna eventually tell me, is what my experience dictates. I don't know, you, at one point, you told me just like, oh, just post something on Twitter, even if there's not too much to talk about. And I'm like...
I believe I said feel free to shitpost.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I even have all that much shitposting to do. Like, I can share memes, but that just becomes a huge problem of crediting people.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I've been on Twitter since 2011, but it was more of as an observer.
Mm.
Like, I did tweet a lot, though. Like, I made my Twitter public recently, just for promotional stuff. And I had to do a massive clean out of my old stuff. And, like, I should have saved it. I honestly should have. I'm kind of regretting it. Because there was some hilarious but weird shit in there. Like, vaguely emo. Like, I had an Edgar Allan Poe tweet about how much the world sucked or something. It was like... And I could relate, like, what that was correlating to event-wise. Like, oh man, I remember that was because I was going through a hard breakup. Like, it was just stupid stuff like that. Or, like, it was just really funny. And I wish I had saved it, but I didn't. I was really embarrassed, too. But, yeah, no, now that I'm trying to be active on Twitter... I just end up liking other people's things because I feel like I'm not important enough.
Yeah.
Or, like, I'm not interesting enough. Like, even when something funny happens, like, Snapchatting is one thing because you're talking to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram stories, you're trying to be douchey and cool. So, like, that's a specific purpose. Twitter, I just feel like no one cares enough.
Yeah. Especially since, like, the concept of, like, share your thoughts in under 140 characters. As much as one of my teachers in elementary school actually used that as, like, we had assignments on Twitter. Like, he would make us do, instead of doing a whole book report in any kind of literature thing, we'd do chapter reports on Twitter, and we'd post on his Twitter thing, or, like, we'd tag, I don't know if we tagged, I don't remember exactly how it was. I think he just had all of our Twitters, and... He had us make professional Twitters and everything. Like, one of the classes was, all right, we're going to be starting doing English. Now everybody's going to make a professional Twitter for this class.
That sounds really cool and hip with the times.
He was a pretty awesome teacher. That being said, I don't really... Because his whole thing... He was trying to break the thing that we'd been taught for a long time, which was to fill a word count.
Yeah.
Now he wanted us to learn to kind of boil our thoughts down so that we could still express ourselves meaningfully under the constraint of brevity, is how he put it. So, yeah, I had a point where in grades 7 and 8, I submitted my thoughts on 1984 through Twitter and was marked through Twitter.
Did he just, like, tweet you back, like, 9 out of 10?
No, he didn't tweet me back, but, like, I had to tweet either at him or, I think, yeah, he just had our Twitters, and he checked that we made the submission by that deadline, and he would just mark us on our tweets.
I guess you had timestamps on them, too.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's actually really cool. It's one of the few, a lot of people have these cool teacher stories from when they were in elementary school, and I have the one prof who, well, not the one prof, but the one teacher who just made me submit book reports through Twitter.
That's really innovative and, like, really cool, honestly. I remember I never put projects on YouTube, but, like, when I got Final Cut when I was 13 years old, because I wanted to be a YouTuber then, and, like, I knew that's what I wanted to do at some point, so I got it as a birthday gift for my 13th birthday. And so whenever we'd have a school project, I used to make videos, and, like, I've kept some of them. I know in first or second year, for one of my courses, I did a Law and Order parody, and it was funny, and, like, we got the, like, sound effects, and I spent, like, 18 hours editing it together, and it was pretty funny. I want to know if I still have it or not, but, no, I like teachers who get you to do projects in cool ways, so it's not like you're just spitting information back. Like, for you had to do the thing on Twitter, and for me, like, I had to make videos about certain topics. And while I do enjoy writing essays now, back then, obviously my writing was shit, but, like, it made me understand things in a certain way, in a different way, and it made sure I actually understood it. It wasn't just me regurgitating what my teacher had said, or what I thought my teacher wanted me to say.
Yeah.
So, kudos to teachers like that.
Mm-hmm. kudos to cool teachers. Stuff.
Speaking of Halloween,
Yeah.
not that we were talking about it before,
Absolutely not.
but abrupt transitions.
Literally just drop it straight all on all your heads. Like,
Candy
I guess
on Halloween. Now
That's
it's
how
topical.
now it's topical. Now we're not stretching. Anyway, yeah, we wanted to take a second in our podcast to talk a little bit about some memories of Halloween. Some spooky stories of scary, but not too scary, so that you can sleep at night.
I was gonna say, you're so considerate. No.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go talk about some spooky stuff?
Sure, I was gonna say, the first thing I can think of is Halloween costume ideas. Do you know what you're gonna be for Halloween, Adam?
Yeah.
What are you gonna be?
I'm gonna reuse my gumshoe detective costume from the 1920s from last year.
You know, if it works, it works.
I mean, I honestly love the shit out of that era's aesthetic so much, so I guess I will just do it again. I could see myself wearing that just in general, always. Just the white button-up shirt tucked into the khaki or whatever, that color, pants into, not khaki, it's like slightly like beige. So like white shirt tucked into beige pants and with a sort of brownish trench coat and a weird hat on.
You should wear that every day.
Yeah, exactly. I could do that as like my going to work outfit, and people would be like, either, damn, that guy looks good, or what the fuck?
I feel like it's a very thin line when trying to rock period pieces between tacky and like a good homage to it.
Mm.
But it's a good costume. I mean, like, I can't talk about reusing costumes. I was Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls for like, what, 2 Halloweens in a row, and then like 2 fan expos as well. So yeah, and even my costume this year is being reused from another costume party last year. Wasn't a Halloween party.
Okay.
It was a costume party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that you spilled alcohol on and almost short-circuited me.
No, that was the Halloween party.
No, it was a birthday party.
No, you were the Stranger Things.
I wasn't Stranger Things at Halloween. I was Mabel at Halloween. I was Stranger Things at the costume birthday party. I have photos.
Okay, well, whatever. In any case, this is all shit that is gonna fly over anybody's heads.
Anyways, I'm dressing up this year. Essentially, what happened was I wanted to do a couple's costume with my other half. And he's not super into dressing up. Like, last year he didn't really dress up. And the year before, we did Halloween in a train station. Because we had to be in Toronto for something. And the year before that, I don't remember what he was for Halloween. He might have done, like, you know, one of the, like, stereotypical, like, guy half-tries costumes. But my idea for this year was that I would dress up as him. And he would dress up as me. But then he was like, no, that's stupid. I don't know. I'm sorry if you're listening.
That's a horrifying idea.
No, it's not. If I were to dress up as him, I would wear, like, a nerdy graphic tee, a pair of jeans, a pair of Converse, a cardigan. I could probably borrow his cardigan. I also have one of his nerdy graphic tees because I sleep in them. And I'd carry a Nerf gun around and a laptop.
Yeah, but what about him?
Oh.
He'd have to come in decked out in full makeup, an image that I will never erase from my mind. He would probably have to get some, like, crazy, like, some wig to put on his face that does not work with his face, because he's got a short hair face, and just... Oh my god, is he going to be wearing your clothes? Are they not going to fit?
Well, get ready, because that's what he's dressing up as for Halloween.
Oh my god.
I'm not dressing up as him, but he's actually, as of today, I convinced him.
No.
He is.
What?
Makeup and all.
That is nightmare fuel.
It's not going to be that bad.
Are you sure?
It started because I have this, like, Calvin Klein t-shirt that I bought at the Bay. And when we were in the Bay, I saw it, but in men's form. And so I convinced him to buy it.
Oh my god.
And I happen to be wearing it today as well.
Oh my god.
So I was like, hey, you know, if you were gonna dress up as me, like, it's one of my favorite t-shirts. And, like, I do wear it a lot. I don't know if you'd, like, associate it with me. But it's, like, a fashion-y brand name on a black t-shirt. And to me as me, that's very Tamara. And I said, like, all you have to do is wear that shirt, a pair of jeans,
like a pair of running shoes, a cardigan, and carry around an Urban Outfitters and Sephora bag and just wear really nice makeup. And I'll give him like some jewelry I always wear too. So yeah, he's doing it. So
Are you gonna film yourself doing his makeup?
if he lets me. It's up to him. I mean, like, this is already far out of his comfort zone. Me being like, can I put my everyday makeup on you? Not like foundation, because we have completely different skin tones.
Yeah,
like,
no
completely.
Shit. No shit.
So that would be, like, kind of weird. And also, like, as much as I love him, my foundation's expensive, and he's not buying it, so I'm not about to waste my foundation. But, like, I said, like, I'll contour his face, I'll highlight it, I'll give him, like, my normal smoky eye I do every day. And instead, I'm gonna go as the Wall from Stranger Things, and one of my friends is gonna go as Eleven, because Stranger Things is released the night of the one Halloween party all of our friends are going to. And we're all a bunch of nerds, and I really like that costume. And I figured out how to waterproof it.
Solid.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be great.
That's gonna be an image I'm never getting out of my mind.
To be fair, though, he actually likes that Calvin Klein shirt. Like, I made sure, like, it was on sale for $20, and I'm like, look, you know, like, we can always go to Forever 21 and, like, find something cheaper. But he was like, you know what? I genuinely will wear this. So I was like, great, okay, it's a cute shirt, yay, we're matching. We decided, too, that we both have these, like, maroon V-neck sweaters that we both bought independently of each other, but we both really like. And we said, like, if we were ever going to do, like, one of those gross couples fall photo shoots, is we'd wear those sweaters. And now we can do another one with our matching Calvin Klein t-shirts.
Dear God.
It's going to be amazing. He's not wearing a wig, though. I asked if he wanted to get one, and he was like, no. But he's letting me do his makeup.
Is he going to get a weave, though?
No, he has bangs. He has, like, side bangs. He used to wear, okay. He'll just put his hair, like, in front.
Don't do that. You're going to see the remnants of a bowl cut.
I mean, he has that, too. So, I just fixed Adam's hair, so, like, I showed him what is gonna do. So, yeah, he's gonna do that. Yeah. So he's gonna do that. I've convinced him, and I'm really excited. I don't know if that makes me really narcissistic, but I'm really excited for how it's gonna turn out. And if people will get it.
I just think you're going to enjoy seeing your significant other in makeup, because you, by nature, much like other people, are a sadistic person.
I'm not a sadistic person.
Or aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna have to, like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, because I have to do my own makeup that night too, and I only have, like, X number of makeup brushes. So, if I want to do his well, I have to figure out how I'm going to put it on his face. Just for sanitary reasons. But yeah, no, I'm really fucking excited. I think it'll be great. I don't know. The thing is, like, here's what goes through my weird head. Is, like, in my mind, that shirt is very Tamara. But to other people, is it gonna look like me? Like, that's why I posted a picture of on Snapchat of, like, him and I wearing the same shirt. So that people would be like, oh, okay, you know. Because, like, I wear that shirt a lot, but I don't know how many people actually take note of what I wear, you know? So, I don't know, I figured the Sephora bag and the Urban Outfitters bag, because Lord knows I have them littered around my room, would give it away. And I offered he could take one of my plants for the night. But he was like, no, your cactus is too much responsibility. So I may give him a plushie to just carry around. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if anyone actually picks up on it, like...
I feel like they will. I feel like they'll see in, like, full makeup and, like, smoky eyes. And they'll just be like, oh, I see what's going on here.
I thought...
after the initial horror, of course, but...
He's gonna be so pretty. I'm not gonna do it to, like...
To make him look bad? No, I don't
I'm gonna
imagine
make him
that you
look
will.
really pretty and sparkly.
I just think you have to keep in mind that is a decently built dude. Like, he's not a hunkering guy, but I don't think you really would want to pick a fight with him in a bar fight. I think there are better people that you could pick a fight with at a bar. So that kind of build of person in full makeup sounds like just one of the worst cases of cognitive dissonance you could possibly get. Like, the only thing worse would be somebody along the lines of, like, I don't even know if I would really find it so weird if Arnold Schwarzenegger was in makeup like that.
He does wear makeup.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, stage makeup. When he used to do bodybuilding competitions, they wear makeup. They also do self-tanner.
Well, yeah, but they don't do smoky eyes.
Well, no. But, like, I don't know, there's plenty... Here's the thing, like, this is gonna get real, like, into some heavy topics. I don't think that makeup should be a gendered item. I mean, like, say what you will about it. Obviously, there are non-binary people who wear makeup and those who don't identify as female who wear makeup. I'm trying to be really inclusive, so, like, sorry if my language is still off. I'm trying to find the best way of phrasing this. But there are plenty of, like, men, women, non-binary people, or femme-identifying people who do wear makeup. And, like, they rock it. Like, I have seen so many male makeup artists who, they are so talented. Like, far more talented than I will ever be. And I think, honestly, like, if you feel good wearing makeup, like, you do you. Who am I to tell you otherwise? And, like, the other thing, too, is, for me at least, like, I started wearing makeup when I was, 11 years old, because I had really bad acne. And, like, it sucks for guys who feel like they can't cover up, if they want to cover up their acne, like, there's no option for it. Like, I've had this conversation with other male friends before, like, why don't you just buy some concealer? Like, you don't have to do a full, like, bake of your face, but, like, if you have scarring and you're uncomfortable, that's what concealer's for. If you're, like, I've talked to guys and they're like, oh, I hate my under eye bags, and I'm like, there's a product for that, like, you don't need to buy, like, a million products to make it look natural. Just, like, put some on your finger, rub it in. Just make sure you wash it off at the end of the day. Why not? And I think it, like, this is another thing I hate. I really hate it when people feel, especially men, feel like they can't wear makeup if they want to cover up any, like, imperfections on their face. Like, not saying you have to, but I'm saying, like, if it will help your confidence, if you do that, why not? Like, why is it so scary to do that? You know, like, I hate how there's this societal norm that men can't do that. And, like, even further, Sephora itself as a makeup store has men's skincare in it. And also just shampoo. Who cares about gendered shampoo? Like, yes, certain ingredients are better for male hair versus female hair. But, like, on the up and up, if your shampoo just, you know, makes your hair moisturizing and shiny, why can't a dude walk into Sephora and buy it? Like, why is there this fear just because it's a store that also sells makeup? Like, I've had male friends refuse to walk into Sephora with me, or they'll walk in there and they'll be so uncomfortable, and it's like, why? I don't understand. I also don't understand gendered products like razors, too, if it's just a straight razor. Like, if it's your basic razor with 3 blades, why does it have to be pink for women and black for men? Like, certain shapes and sizes for specific parts, I get that. Fine. But if it's a basic razor, like, I use a basic razor for, like, I don't know, if I want to, like, get rid of peach fuzz or something, why does it have to be pink? I don't get that. I don't know. Like, it was an arbitrary decision in the 1940s that pink was for girls and blue was for boys anyways.
Yeah.
And it bothers me. And, like, again, wouldn't it be great? Like, if you could think back to high school, if you had really bad acne, wouldn't you love to cover it up? If it was, like, such a big thing for you that, like, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you want to have that option, or wouldn't you want your son to have that option? If they were so anxious and, like, upset about having acne or scarring, wouldn't you want them to feel comfortable having that option? Like, I would just want my kid to be happy, or, like, my friends to be happy.
Honestly, no. Because I didn't have, like, terrible acne the way that, like, some people, like, really have had a lot worse acne than I did.
Mm-hmm.
But I had, you know, kind of basic sort of, like, teenager, you know, every so often a pimple would show up in my head. I'd have terrible blackheads. But I think on the same side, again, and I'm speaking as somebody who's really, I've never really gotten shit for it necessarily on my appearance, but from a certain perspective, I also kind of feel like, I don't know, I mean, I wouldn't, it's not that I would be like, oh, well, you can't use concealer, like, to somebody, or that I think you're weak for using concealer. So, okay, so maybe I do agree. Okay, if like, I would give the option, but I wouldn't endorse it. I wouldn't say, like, you know, you should probably, if you have problems with your acne, you should probably go get some concealer. I would just say, you know, well, you have some problems with your acne, or you have some problems with anxiety. Let's talk about why you're anxious. And if it really boils down to, you know, I'm self-conscious about my face, like, sure.
But I mean, if it would help them, like, I'm not saying that that's the problem to solve it. Like, oh, you have acne, go get concealer. Like, obviously, my opinion I don't know if this was conveyed or if that just wasn't understood, but, like, my opinion is that, like, if you have skin problems, go see a professional first.
Yeah.
But, like, if it's at a point where you just have scarring from it, or you just have remnants that make you feel uncomfortable, and it's to the point where, like, you're on, like, it's not the be-all and end-all of your anxiety, but if it would make you feel more comfortable to cover it up, why not? I'm not saying it's a solution to it, but if it helps you get through the day, and if it makes you feel a little better in your own skin, like, obviously, like, I could safely say this, like, when I had really horrible acne as a kid, and I used to wear makeup, it's not that I, like, thought I was just a horrible, bad person. Like, my self-esteem wasn't based on, like, wasn't low on the fact that I wasn't super low because I had acne. The fact that I was able to cover it up made me feel better. And it just was, like, one less thing to worry about, you know? Like, it was just like, you know what? At least no one's gonna see this thing on my face that's bright red. Now it's skin-colored. It's still there, but it's skin-colored, you know? Like, it made me feel more confident in myself. And, like, wow, this turned into a really, like, deep, long rant. We went from Halloween costumes to makeup.
Like, yeah. We tried to make this Halloween themed, and yet.
I think it's important, though. Like, you know what? I've gotten a lot of shit, especially from guys who are like, why do you like makeup so much? Like, isn't it just creating, like, you know, like, superficial beauty standards that women can't live up to? Like, yes, on the one hand, the industry itself is fucked, but at least a lot of people like myself who are dedicated to it as, like, a craft in a way, appreciate it and use it as a way to make other people feel better about themselves, including ourselves. Like, not that I don't, like, I'm at a point where I can go out in public without makeup. It's I choose to put it on every day because I like putting it on and I like creating something. It's like painting. Your face is a canvas. I can do different things to my face every day that will change the way I look if I want to. You know, like, I have the option to. Why not? Like, it's not like it's affecting anyone else whether or not I put contour on my cheeks or whether or not I do a smoky eye or something. Like, you know, I like glitter, so I put glitter on my eyes and it makes me happy. Helps me get through the day. Like, why not? Like,
yeah, and I mean, when you kind of turn it into, again, the way that you say it, like, where it's more, it's less you're kind of trying to achieve a goal through that, which is something along the lines of, like, you're putting on makeup in order to look better, rather. Because when you do that, you can kind of find fault with anything a little bit. Like, a lot of people who could be like, oh, you know, why are you doing makeup? Like, it promotes those beauty standards. Like, I'm sure you could say that for, like, a lot of different things. Like, you could freaking tear down all of advertising.
You could tear down the clothing industry. You could tear down gaming as well,
You can tear down absolutely anything on that basis. But if you're doing it as a craft, if you're just kind of, like, if you're treating it like people treat art.
And, like, here's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, no offense to anyone who doesn't understand makeup, but I don't do this for you. Like, I also don't dress as, like, a heterosexual person. I don't dress for men. I don't do my makeup for men. Do you think, like, when I do a smoky eye, can you tell that took me 10 minutes? No, I do it because I like it. Can you tell the difference between the different eyeshadows on my eye? No, I can. And to any people who can, it's a great conversation starter. Like, if I see someone whose makeup looks flawless and I obviously feel comfortable in the situation, I'll tell them, hey, your eyeliner looks great. And you know what? It's nice. It makes someone's day. Someone's done that to me before, and it's, like, the nicest thing ever. But, like, I don't do it for other people. Most people who I know, you know, people who choose to wear makeup or who dress up nice don't do it for other people. They do it for themselves. Like, hell, one day I'll go from wearing jeans and heels to, like, sweatpants and running shoes, and I do it because I want to. Oh man, this got deep. But yeah, so, long story short, my boyfriend's wearing makeup for Halloween.
Yeah, and then we discussed the
societal
standards and kind of the moral dilemma behind makeup as a whole. So
you can't say we're not deep on this podcast, man.
Nope. We touch on everything from memes to truly deep moral conversations, ethical conversations. Like, what did we have a conversation about earlier? Friggin' Twitter, how to use Twitter.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
I feel like that's the best part of our podcast, if I can say that, having only recorded technically 3 episodes, but 2 episodes, is that we go from deep to funny and lighthearted, which brings us to our next topic, spooky stories.
Spooky stories.
Do you have any spooky stories?
I have spooky stories.
Why don't you start us off with your spooky, scary stories?
This one's not exactly, I guess, all that spooky to other people, but it really made my heart jump out of my friggin' chest. One time I was home alone at my house in Toronto, and I went to the bathroom to shower at night. I usually don't shower at night, but that time I had. And after I was done my shower, I wrapped a towel around my waist and I was going back to my room. And I shut off the light in the bathroom before closing the door. And for whatever reason, I shut off the light and I was looking at the door as I was closing it. And I guess I moved it pretty quickly. And as I was closing it, I just saw something like whoosh, like towards me, but like
What?
it got closed behind the door.
What?
And I was like, and as I saw it, like it almost looked like a shadow, but it was in a dark room, and it just kind of like, it was almost as though it was trying to grab my hand as I was closing the door.
What
The
fuck?
hand that was closing the door. I jumped out of my fucking skin. Okay, I jumped, I froze for like a solid 30 seconds. I was in like absolutely complete paralyzed terror. I was like, I legitimately thought for those 30 seconds, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, it's over. It's over. You know, Boogeyman's got me. But after those 30 seconds, I more or less calmed down, and curiosity got the better of me, and I opened the door and as quickly as I could turned the light on inside. And I looked around the bathroom to try and find what had just nearly grabbed like my hand
My heart's
as
pounding.
closing
Oh my God.
as I was closing the door. Like, I checked the shower, I checked the like sort of around the toilet, I checked in every single the vanity and the stuff under the sink. I checked everywhere for this man. I was scared. I looked out the window. I was like, can I see anything out there? Is it like Bloody Mary or some shit? Like, I was fucking terrified as I was looking around this room. But having found no evidence of impending death, I just decided to leave. At which point I noticed my bathrobe hanging on the back of the door on the hooks that were in
God
the door.
damn it! My heart was pounding!
I looked at it. I saw this gray bathrobe that I had there. It's always been there.
I guess you just saw, like, it moving.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was the first time in my life. I was like 14. Well, it's not that I always had a bathrobe. That was relatively recent. But I was about 14 at the time. And it was just the first time that the coincidence had happened that I had turned off the light and closed the door sort of quick. I don't know what I did. But it just whipped around a little bit. And it came right into my line of sight right as I was closing the door. Like, I didn't have time to react before I closed the door.
Oh my God.
So.
I have a story similar to that. My house is quite old, and it settles a lot. And, like, I don't have the, like, supersonic hearing, but I have, like, better hearing than my parents, sort of thing. So, like, sometimes I'll hear and see things that they don't see. Like, we were walking the other night, and I could read the lettering on a building that was, like, a little farther away that was written in black, and they couldn't see it. It's just an age thing. So, for some reason, I if you couldn't tell, I had a very overreactive imagination as a child, and I still do, in terms of, like, if I get scared about something, it's usually like, oh God, I hear something, and then my mind will come up with a bunch of different things what it is. Like, it's tied to my anxiety, but I just have a very overreactive imagination. Even as a child, like, my doll storylines were soap operas. But for some reason, we have this extra bedroom in my house, and it's the largest out of any of the rooms in the house, and for some reason, no one sleeps in there. It's an empty room, and my dad for years has wanted to turn it into his office, but my mom, when I was around, like, the budding age of teendom, so, like, 13, offered it to me as a bedroom. But I turned it down. Like, it's not a super small room. Like, it fits what I need. Like, I have floor space, but, like, it's not a big room by any means. Like, I have a bigger room at school than I do at home. But, we never use this room, and it's always been for storage. And, like, during the day, I loved looking through all the old things that were in there, because my mom would keep, like, clothes from the 80s in there, my dad had old photographs there, and, like, just random knickknacks. But one night, I had a nightmare that there was a lady who lived in the bedroom's closet, and she came out one night pissed off that I had woken her up, because I was in there playing, like I usually did during the day. And for some reason... And, like, she lived in the attic, but she lived in that closet, because you could get to the attic through that closet. And that freaked me the fuck out to this day. So, like, I don't know what it is, but since that dream, like, I remember this dream in vivid detail. To the point where it was like, and I do remember dreams, but, like, there was just something about this that seemed so real that now I hate being in that room alone, especially at night. And because my house settles... And sometimes I'll hear things like conversations or something, and then I'll like sit up or perk up. Like it could just be my mind doing weird things. Like I'll fall asleep, or it could just be people walking on the street outside my house. Because like during the summer months and even sometimes during the winter, people will walk by and like I can hear them because my room's in the front of the house. But for some reason, like I swear to God, I'm terrified of that room. I don't know why. And, like, it's even weirder that, like, now we have a moth infestation. And we've had it for a while. There used to be moths, like, you know, everywhere else. But it started in that room. And it's lasted for about, like, almost a year now. And there's still live moths there. It's just the creepiest room in the house. Like, our basement isn't as weird. And it's pretty, like... We don't use our basement for anything. My parents have this weird thing about basements. So, like, I don't like spending time in basements either. But, like, our basement's more friendly than that room. Like, I don't know what it is. And, like, I've told my parents this, and they've both been like, yeah, that room's kind of weird. Like, we don't like spending time in there. And, like, now, at least because of the moths, like, we don't go in there. But, like, there was one summer where I had to do work for my dad, and I had to work in that room, and I'd be in there all night, and I was scared out of my mind. Like, there's just something about that bedroom.
God.
And, like, I've slept in there with friends, but never on my own. Like, it's very situational. And, like, the other thing, too, is there's the light has a timer in that room, so that, like, you know, if we're ever, like, away or something, the light will, like, go on, so it looks like people are home or whatever. But, sometimes that light will just go on in the middle of the night because of the timer, and it's just freaky. And, like, I can see that room from my room, and my parents' bedroom is, like, farther back, and it's just, they're heavy sleepers, too, and I just hear stuff sometimes. I'm just like, what the fuck? Or, like, I have beaded curtains outside my bedroom that, like, when something moves past them, they rustle, and sometimes they'll just rustle in the middle of the night, and it's like, oh, sweet Jesus, what? So I sleep with the light on now. And a fan on. I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
Did you ever do those things? Like, you just, in your mind, considered something as scary when you were a child, and it just affected your perception of it? I mean, like, maybe not to the extent of the front bedroom.
Well...
But...
I mean, there was one time where I think I couldn't sleep for about 2 months after, I was a pretty, like, scaredy cat child. Like, I was very easily influenced by anything that kind of was like occult or weird, so ghost stories were kind of the easiest way to get me paranoid.
Yeah.
But I mean paranoid, you know? So one time, I remember at summer camp, I was with a bunch of kids in a cabin, and we generally got along pretty well, but they found out this weakness of mine one night when they started telling ghost stories about, like, a really creepy priest. I'm not even going to try to recall what the content of these stories was, because they just scared the crap out of me.
I have to go to bed after this.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was gruesome. But what really kind of drove the point home was when later they somehow, I don't remember, I think it came up at some point in conversation, or they found out or something. I might have told them kind of offhand. I can't remember anyway. But they found out my address, and they set one of the stories, like, in my neighborhood. Like, one of the ghost stories that they were telling amongst each other.
Fucked.
I couldn't sleep for 2 months after I got back. I kept looking at the front yard like, oh my God. Is tonight the night? Am I going to die?
I remember I had, again, overactive imaginations. Like, when I have dreams and I remember them, they're weird or they're very detailed. And I remember, again, I don't remember the context, but, like, again, it's one of those things, like, to this day, I'm still kind of uneasy about it. I had a dream that Deborah Messing from Will and Grace in Will and Grace, tried to murder me.
Oh. What?
And it has this really elaborate plot, and we never caught her. And after that, I just couldn't. And, like, I used to love Will and Grace. And I
Now you
just have
can't
this
do it.
weird, uneasy feeling whenever I see Deborah Messing, like, in a show. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that. I don't know. That and the front bedroom were, like, two things from my childhood. Actually, no, Deborah Messing was from, like, 7 or 8 years ago. Like, it was recent, but I'm still like, yeah, no. The other time I remember being genuinely scared shitless. This wasn't so much from ghost stories, because, like, again, I was a really anxious child, so, like, I felt like I was the family guard dog, too. So, like, any jump in, like, any noise in the house, I'd wake up. Even though, like, we had security systems or whatever, I was, like, a first line of defense. And I still get really anxious, too. Like, I sleep a lot better in Guelph than I do in Toronto, because for some reason my brain is like, Guelph is safe. You will not be murdered here. Okay, cool. But, the first time I was truly scared shitless was one of the first times I ever saw a meteor shower. Because, and this was also one of the times too, I was fairly young because we used to go up north to cottage country because my aunt and uncle had a cottage, and you could see the stars really well there. But the first time I ever witnessed a meteor shower and realized that there was life beyond our planet, I was like, and the other thing too is where we went to watch the meteor shower, we went for a little hike in the woods. Like, it was a well-known path that we knew. It was like a bush area near us. But I held on to my mom after that. I'm like, we're not alone in the universe. Like, aliens exist, guys. And I just remember being like, I saw those meteors. And I'm like, oh my god, science is real.
Science is... Because that was a doubt.
I always loved astronomy, too. Like, I loved learning about the stars. But they're sort of like, when you see a shooting star, it's like, oh, cute. When you see a meteor shower... There's like a mile a minute happening, and they're not just small shooting stars. They last a good minute. You know, like they light up the sky, and it's like the work of some... It's just incredible. Like, if you're religious, it's a religious experience. But I was just like... I mean, like, now when I see it, I'm enthralled, and I love watching meteor showers. And I even texted Adam a couple days ago, because there was a meteor shower recently, and I was like, hey, want to go look at some space shit? And we were both busy. It didn't work out. But, like, the first time I saw a meteor shower, fuck, I was terrified. And, like, now it's turned into this, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've been on Tumblr for, like, 7-8 years, that there's this weird love of aliens I have, where it's like, space shit, fuck me up. Like, I started watching the X-Files, and I'm like, paranormal life is great, conspiracies, yay, government's hiding it. But, to, like, a level where I love it, not that I'm, like, into it. I have an alien sticker on my laptop, even, I just noticed. But, I love space stuff, but, like, that scared the shit out of me. And, like, even watching a video on the Fermi paradox recently, like, within a year, I was like, oh my god, we're still not alone. If you have the chance, it's definitely, if you don't know what the Fermi paradox is, there's a wonderful video by Kurzgesagt. Just look up the Fermi paradox, and there's a video by CGP Grey as well, who's one of my longtime favorite YouTubers, but the two of them made a video on it, and it's so cool. And you'll be rightfully freaked out. It talks about why haven't we figured out about aliens and whether or not they know about us, and why haven't they contacted us, and if they have, how could they have contact? It's so cool. It's science-based. Like, it's very much science-based. Like, it is an algorithm, it is a theory, but it's still kind of like some of that X-Files shit in there too.
Some of that good X-Files shit.
Can I just say, I love the X-Files so much. If you have the chance and you like alien conspiracy theories and
Gillian
Fox Mulders
and Gillian Anderson continually disbelieving Mulder, even though he's constantly proving himself right by the end of the episode.
Yeah, it's great. But
her skepticism is renewed freshly, magically every single episode.
Not so much. It's actually, as someone who has recently like rewatched it, it's not that bad. It lasts for, like, maybe 5 episodes, and then, like, I'm not gonna ruin anything, but there's something that, like, actually changes her opinion, and then she's, like, on his side. It's not like the supernatural monster a day thing. It's very much, like, something happens, like, a bunch of things happen,
and things that like science could improve and a few things science could prove, and then Scully's on Mulder's side. And also Fox Mulder in a trench coat. Ooh. A+. And like just the 80s fashion overall, and the fact that they all have pagers. And like when they sit down to type out, when Scully sits down at the end of the episode to type out her like scientific facts on like this giant brick of a computer, it's just so great. It's so great. It's equal parts nostalgia and great writing.
Mm-hmm.
X-Files sponsor us.
Please. Still running.
In lieu of that, I guess we'll wrap this
means
up.
Instead, but yeah.
Words are fun.
I guess that is it. Thank you very much for listening to us gab on and on about people who friggin' beckon you forward when they have the right of way. Our difficulties with Twitter. Makeup on Tamara's SO. And
Halloween.
Some real deep shit. And then Halloween spooky stories. We hope we entertained you with our spooky stories and random bullshit and memes.
Be safe this Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have your own spooky stories you want us to share, tweet at us at our podcast sucks with an X.
And if you want to stay safe this Halloween, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Wow, that's great.
Oh, wait, I just realized the implications of what I just said.
What if they're not safe? God, Adam. Still, please like, comment, and subscribe down below.
I think I'm gonna take that out.
No, you gotta keep that in.
No, can we try that again? I really don't want to be, like, responsible for a curse. I didn't realize that that's what that meant. I sound like a stalker. Okay.
Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to hear more spoopy content from Adam and I.
Mm-hmm.
Tweet us at our podcast sucks. This is not the first time we've recorded this bit.
No, it took a few tries.
Check out bonus footage if you want to know why.
No.
Oh, no.
Are you kidding me?
Are you gonna put...
I just threatened these people with some kind of bodily harm, possibly murder.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say murder, but okay.
That's what it sounded like. If you want to stay safe this Halloween, please like, comment, and subscribe. Implies like, or else. Oh, no.
Adam will come and write a ghost story about you.
That's non-offensive.
That's not offensive.
I can take. Yeah. Anyway, bye. Have a good week. We love you, sort of. Not really. We don't know a majority of you. Unless you're one of our family members, in which case we love you.
We appreciate you regardless, even if you don't like, comment, and subscribe. But please like, comment, and subscribe, and support us on Patreon.
Yep. Bye.